Everyone will be doing some work today. Everyone else will be doing work. I'm sorry. He's going to do some work today, so we'll just evaluate it after today. Just today.
How's Jackson looked in his first two practice back?
Yeah, he's had a couple good days put together. No more important than today in the red zone. So it's a good emphasis for us. We got some new stuff in. Excuse me. So we're working through some of those mechanics and details, but he's doing a good job.
Go ahead.
How much do you have to handle Jackson differently in game, if at all, coming off a concussion?
You're certainly, you're mindful of it and you understand that, but I think, the game will kind of declare itself and, get into the game. We have our openers, things that we like early in the game, so we'll roll with those and then be able to adjust as the kind of the flow of the game determines itself.
Wow, where do things stand with the Debo? I think he's been limited all week. Obviously, he's been out for a while. Just what's his outlook for this week? Yeah,
he looked good. He had a good day yesterday, so we'll continue to get some work today, and then, we'll make a call, kind of after how today works out.
Like, shame on me, I don't have the exact number, but your opening drive touchdown rate has to be through the roof. And I just heard you say the word, you have your openers that you like. Why do you think that is? Why are you guys so successful getting in the end zone on first possessions?
It just goes back to the players just being dialed into what, the early part of the game, starting fast and then going out there and executing. They're just doing a nice job of executing, continue to sustain drives, whether it's on third down or on fourth down. And then you get opportunities in the red zone. They're just doing a good job executing. So hats off to those guys for making it work. And then hats off to the coaching staff for putting together a good plan that they can go execute fast.
Tim was talking about TK was talking about Jackson's situational awareness yesterday. How have you seen him grow into that and did that develop?
Yeah, absolutely. You see it from week to week. Each week that he started, it's grown and grown and grown. And then, really, the last time he played in Chicago, there was some of those examples of his situational awareness, third down, where do you need to get down, when do you need to get a first down, when do you need to make a big play with his feet or with his arm and scramble. So, he's continuing to build off of that. He's watching the veteran guys who stepped in while he was out and watch Jameis do the same thing and continue to learn and grow. But as a young player, that's you're absorbing all of those experiences and continue to build your own game.
What have you seen him pick up from Jameis? I guess have you talked about what he saw from?
Well, when you watch the tape and you look at the corrections or look at the things that Jameis did really well, whether it was the 4th and 10 scramble with his legs, at the end of the game, or stepping up and delivering a shot when there's defenders right in your face. Those are just experience you can continue to see and watch how the veterans react to those type of plays and then, build it and kind of work it within himself and how he would do in those situations.
This is your third week in this role. I'm sure that first week was probably kind of crazy. I don't know, has it settled down? What has this experience been like for you taking over midstream like this?
It's been a great experience so far, just being able to deal with everybody and work with everybody together and kind of get everyone on the same page as best I can. And today's a super important day. I haven't had a lot of time to reflect on the whole experience, but today's a super important day. I'm excited for the players to come out here and work through the red zone game plan.
You've interviewed for a bunch of jobs. You've obviously thought of what it would be like if you became a head coach. How different is it though when you can't change as much obviously as you probably would like when you're coming in on the fly like this? How have you tried to balance what you do change and what you just acted?
Yeah, no, that's good thought because you try and take little bits and pieces. And again, I guess one of the biggest intent that we had was not just the change just because, was just to have a really intent. And it was all built around just the players and how we can maximize the football time in the building and eliminate some of the dead time and time where, it's not meeting time or whatever. Like, let's just really confine it and make it really, really efficient for our players. When they're in the building, it's all ball, it's all football, it's getting your body right, and then it's all ball. We're on the practice field, we get off the practice field, right into meetings, going through the corrections, getting those things cleaned up. So that was really my focus and emphasis, and took bits and pieces from places I've been in the past and just try to make it a little bit cleaner, in my opinion, for the players.
How about the changing of defensive coordinators? How much has that shifted your time and your energy to certain places throughout this week, maybe compared to the past two?
Yeah, I'd say it's similar. Just as I'm working through it myself, I'm learning a little bit more about myself and how I want to organize that a little bit better. So I'm trying to be more efficient with my time. Of course, I still have to stay on top of all the offensive stuff, but being able there and just go and communicate with the special teams coordinator, defensive coordinator, just talk through what's in the game and just kind of touch base as we get through, kind of each night, late at night, just touch base with each other and make sure we're on the same page. But I'm working through that myself and continuing to get better at it.
I didn't ask you about Kayvon either. This is think his third or fourth game. How's he doing? And is this something that might shut him down for the season at this point?
I think it's too soon to tell. I think he's working his tail off to get back and get better, and our doctors are taking care of him. And he's attacking. I see him in the building, getting the rehab. So he's working his tail off to get back and better for us.
DeVito will be on the other team. You've worked with first-round picks. You've worked with veteran guys. Obviously, his story was a little bit unique. What was that like, and what do you see him as in this league going forward?
Yeah, I mean, DeVito, in my opinion, is a starter in this league. He does a nice job. He has started in this league, so of course I see him that way. What a great person, what a great personality. Always brought energy to the room, brought energy to the group, brought energy to the offense. A guy that I'm proud of for where he began, as a tryout type guy and stepping up and kind of being in the room and learning to be a pro. And then when he got his opportunity, he took advantage of it. And, won some big games, won some big games for us, and a lot of great memories with DeVito.
What do you remember first of your first encounters with him?
Oh yeah, you can ask DeVito about that one. We had a couple of good conversations as a young player, but again, for him, like his growth, his maturity, and he really just took from that room, just every day, just continued to improve, and was probably one of our most improved players from day 1 to day 30 to day 60 to day 90, like just over time, ended up being one of our most improved players through the course of that.